Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Yontaf Pravesha Mama Vachamimam Prashuptam Sanjeevayatyakila Shakti Dharasvadhamna Anyamscha Hasta Charana Shravana Tvagadim Pranannamo Bhagavate Purushaya Tubhyam. So thank you. Thank you all for joining. So last week we had a special guest who was a friend of mine, very nice, well-renowned Kirtaniya. Kirtaniya is someone who travels around the world singing the sound of their heart and tune the hearts of others in their connection to the divine. So this is what Kirtaniyas are called. And we were very fortunate. This very renowned Kirtaniya, Gauravani Prabhu, he lives in Washington, D.C., and we had one full weekend of ecstatic kirtan. Super ecstatic. The room fills, it's about 200 people. Somehow they were packed with more than 200 people, if not more than 300 people. And then the space becomes smaller and smaller because that's what happens in kirtan. And then everyone has to stand up to accommodate the hearts of everyone into that space. And then everyone stands up and does this ecstatic kirtans. And the week before that, I introduced you to another friend of ours that I met that I haven't seen in a long time at a beautiful farm in Pennsylvania. He is a former nuclear physicist, and his wife was a big executive in South Africa, and they both left their countries under the instructions of their teacher to do farming in a remote village of Pennsylvania, where they're surrounded by incredible Amish people. So this week, we don't have any special guests. The special guests are all of you. And I wanted to share with you our continued discussion on exploring the different islands of the heart. So far, we have covered 7 islands of the heart: Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam. We have covered how to have the mood of being a transcendental servant of the divine. And this week, we will cover this new island. This is called the island of Sakhya. In Sanskrit, the word Sakhya means friendship. And it's a very important island because each and every one of us in this world require friends. And in order to understand this principle of friendship, Sakhiras, there is a tremendous amount of nectar and wisdom that is flowing from the beautiful hearts of the sages in the past. And we will just simply start exploring a little bit at a time. And so today, we want to get a little peek into this beautiful island of the heart called Sakyam. Sakyam also is known as Sakya Ras. Rasa means the mellows of friendship, the nectar of friendship, the beauty of friendship, the island of friendship. So everyone in this world needs friends. Is there someone here who does not need friends? Please raise your hand. Is there someone here who does not have any friends? You know why that is? Because it is normal and natural, and it is constitutional nature of all beings to have friends. Because friendships are, this island of the heart is a big part that enables us to fully explore the broad spectrum of spiritual relationships. And so now we want to cover these 3 dimensions of friendships. So I will use a Sanskrit term I use very sparingly so you can remember a few words that I use. So the first level of friendships that I would like to explore today is called the Uttama. Uttama, Uttama. Uttama means the top tier of friendships. Those are called the essential friendships or the mentor friendships. In our lives, if we want to explore the divine gift of experiencing what true friendships mean, then we need to have something called essential friendships and mentor friendships. Why is this important? Because for the sake of God and for the sake of continuous evolvement in our existence, we need friends that has a little more wisdom than us, have been through a little bit more in life than us, or has more knowledge and experience than us. And I'm sure that everyone has somebody. And that is the very reason why the educational institutions in the world are thriving, because they have teachers who know about different subject matters more than the students. Like Narayani is a teacher here to beautiful 20 young children. And why is she a teacher? Because she has knowledge and experience that the students in her class, they do not possess. So therefore, Narayani is considered to be in this category of essential friendships and mentor friendships for the students. And by seeing her character, by learning from her, and by knowing more of the wisdom that she carries in her life, in her heart, then the students will broaden their experience and their horizon and will see the world in a way that is very beautiful. And it will make them advance in life. So these friendships, everyone has. I know Ekaterina, I got to meet her beautiful heart in Bulgaria. She's an amazing, incredible yoga teacher because she's filled with love. And I can tell you one thing is that she is filled with love and knowledge and wisdom is because she has had mentors. She has had this kind of friendships that guided her and nurtured her to be this loving person that she is. And so in life, if we want to evolve, if we want to transcend our material existence, if we want to go to the transcendental platform of prema bhakti, which is the topmost transcendental, pure, eternal spiritual love, then we need such people in our lives. And now when we're talking about these friendships, Uttama Adhikari friendships. Adhikari means someone who has the adhikar, someone who has the qualities of Uttama. And those are teachers, not just in classrooms, but teachers who teach us how to open our hearts and minds, and teachers that teach us how to live the highest quality of life. That is available to all of us. You'll be surprised to know that the divine expressions of love, this prema bhakti, this transcendental love, is dormant in each and every one of our hearts. It is just waiting for you to discover it and explore it and be living from that space. And so teachers who are experiencing this Uttam Adhikari emotions, friendships, then when you connect yourself to them, you will start to experience those emotions of love for yourself and others and all beings and everything in this world. And that is the uniqueness of having this particular group of friends. It could be one, at least one is needed. At least one. You can call them teachers, you can call them gurus, you can call them spiritual masters. At least one such personality is needed in our life. And those are called the essential friendships. The essence. Someone who can teach you the essence of life. Someone who can help you smell the fragrance of spiritual life. Someone who can help you taste the nectar that lies within yourself. Someone who can help you peel the layers that are covering your heart. One great saint, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he beautifully cries out this beautiful verse. He says, Cheto darpana marjanam. Please don't mind. I would like you to hear how nectarian Sanskrit language sounds. Cheto darpana marjanam bhava mahadavagni nirvapanam Shreya kairava chandrika vitaranam vidya vadhu jivanam Anandam buddhivardhanam pratipadam purnamrita swadanam sarvatma snapanam param vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. And it's very beautiful because he explains the importance of removing the dust accumulated in our hearts that does not allow us to see our pure divine self. Imagine you're driving in the beautiful, dusty roads of Bulgaria. Or any parts of the world. And that in your windshield that you're driving is covered in dust. And you're driving and you're driving and you're having difficulty to stay on the road because you're swerving left, right. And imagine a teacher comes up to you and says, Ekaterina, pause for a second. Let me dust off your windshield so you can see better. And these are called essential friends. Friends that help you to see better your true spiritual nature. And these are called Uttama adhikaris. The word adhikari means someone who has the right, who has seen the beautiful truth in you. If someone has not seen the beauty that you hold, they cannot guide you on this level. Only when they're able to see the beauty in you and take the flashlight and shine it towards you and help you see and grow in your spiritual life. This is what Uttama Adhikari, the essential friends that each and every one of us need to at least have one. Someone who sees the good in you. Everyone has one, right? Someone sees the good in them. It's incredible, beautiful. Then the second level of friendship, it's called Madhyama. 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 Madhyama Adhikaris. These are group of friends that are, in English, we'll call them your associates or your corroborators, people that you have gone to school with, people who are on the same spiritual path with you, and they're your equals. And you need a lot of them as well. Because with such friendships, you can be yourself, because they know all aspects of you. You're able to be vulnerable with them because you trust them. It's very important in our community that we are always keeping a heart of no judgment and heart of confidentiality. So what does that mean? That means it allows us and gives us the space to be authentic, to be genuine, and be real. And this is very, very important part of our spiritual journey. Each and every one of us need to have such friends where you can just be you. In English, sometimes they say where you can lay your hair down. Is that the correct expression? Where you can just, no judgment, beautiful, safe, sacred space. And these are people who are on the same spiritual path with you. Becomes easier because they will understand your struggles in life without you having to explain so much. You can be as cryptic or you can be as elaborate, and they understand you. And they're in a space where they will never, ever, ever judge you. So this is the second tier of friendships, who we called Madhyama Adhikaris, or associates or collaborators. That's someone you collaborate with, someone who is your associate. And that is what we call the Sangha. In our Sangha, we have that we keep this beautiful space for all of us to grow together and nourish one another, be there for one another. So this is the second kind of friendships that we must all try to have in our lives. Then we'll cover this friendship is called the Kanishta, Kanishta, Kanishta Adhikaris. What is the understanding of this Kanishta Adhikaris? That means you have now taken the service of being a mentor and making sure you're mentoring other people on the path of self-discovery. So you have mentees because you have now taken on people who are looking up to you as their friends. They're looking up to you as a role model. They're looking up to you for guidance. They're looking up to you for shelter. They're looking up to you for advice. And this is a very important part of this island, that unless and until we're sharing our love and our heart with others, you will not be able to fully experience this whole island of Sakyaras. That means you cannot be stingy. You have all this love in your heart. You have all this knowledge and wisdom. You have to share it with others. You have to bring others on board. You have to help others to open up their hearts and live from the space of spiritual joy, live from the space of freedom, live from the space of serenity. And this you will notice I remember when I was mentored in the monastery growing up, many, many mentors, many, many essential friends, constantly guiding me from different subjects, different ways, every possible way. And then I started to realize that when you have knowledge and you practice that knowledge, for example, you may know the Ashtanga yoga principles and the asanas, but if you don't practice, then there is no realization. So therefore, when we were mentored, we were mentees at one point, and then when we take on the role of mentoring other students and others, then what we're doing is, because we have practiced it on ourselves, we now have realized knowledge. Please keep in mind, my dear friends, that we gain knowledge from books, we gain knowledge from others, and we gain so much knowledge from various different sources. But unless that knowledge is applied in our lives, unless you apply the teachings that we are learning from one another on the Sangha calls, you will not have realization. So there is book knowledge, and then there is realized knowledge. And realized knowledge comes from application of that knowledge, when you apply that knowledge. And when you apply that knowledge, then something else happens, because you're always learning from others and you're always applying and you're having realized knowledge. Then what happens is revealed knowledge. Knowledge that is revealed to you, information that is revealed to you by the divine, because your heart is open. Unless your heart is open, the divine knowledge, divine revelation will not happen. We know from the Puranas and yoga text, very beautifully explained, Tene Brahma Hridaya Adi Kavaye Muhyantiyat Suraya. That means that the revealed knowledge is transmitted from one heart to another. So when the universal heart wants to give you some knowledge, that knowledge is revealed to you in your heart. And that is why we call revealed knowledge. And this revelation we see in the yoga text repeated time and again. When a student is very sincere in their spiritual practices, guided by the teachers, then the divine reveals more and more information, more and more realizations, and more deeper feelings of inner happiness and joy. And this is what we called revealed knowledge. So now getting back to our topic, in the Kanishta Adhikari stage, where we have to become friends with people that need shelter and help. Because by sharing your knowledge and your wisdom and your love and your care and your affection and compassion with others, the beautiful flow of universal energy, universal love, it becomes very, very transparent. And you become an instrument in this beautiful world in service of God, in the service of divine. So therefore, these three friendships that we're discussing today, it is extremely vital that we analyze in our lives. Do we have these three kinds of friends? Most of us in the world, we have friends. We have, beer buddies, we have book reading friends, we have biking friends, we have hiking friends, we have, drinking friends is pretty common. And someone also told me they have hooking friends that, and I was like, what? I didn't realize there was such a thing, because things are so casual now. Friendship is not taken its deep root in our hearts. So we have to analyze in our lives, what kind of friendships do we have? Do we have the full spectrum that is provided to us by the yoga texts? Do we have people going on the same spiritual journey as us? Are they on the path that we can share with, we can confide in, that we can be vulnerable with, we can be authentic with? Do we have people that we can go to when we have spiritual realizations that we can share with them, and they can help us and guide us? In case we need any help. Do we have people in our lives that we have the opportunity to serve? If not, we should reach out to them. I know, for example, we have Food for Life set up in America and different places. And those platforms gives us people that we can help and serve. And thereby, we get the opportunity to experience and relish all these friendships. And this is why this island of Sakhya, or friendships, are so sweet and beautiful. And it's very beautifully cyclic, how we become a universal instrument of transparent via media, of sharing knowledge and wisdom. Otherwise, what happens in the world is we share information, and our friendship circle is a lot of shuffling and recycling gossip. Most people that I hear and they talk with one another, it is about other people, things that other people have done or said. And in spiritual life, we discuss different deep spiritual realizations and ideas and thoughts. And thereby we become transparent via media. Please keep this in mind, of receiving spiritual knowledge and guidance and passing on that spiritual knowledge and guidance to others. just as my teachers have spent many, many years training me and guiding me, providing me with love and friendship, and the space to confide and share my struggles with. And through this process, I was able to now share my heart with others, just as I have garnered from my teachers. Simply an instrument of transferring that spiritual love and compassion and knowledge and realizations. And that's all we are. And that is when this chain of disciplic succession, in Sanskrit is called the parampara system. When a teacher simply shares his heart with the students and the students share their heart with someone else. And this is something very, very vital to the survival and the and flourishing spiritual communities around the world. Because most of us in the world, or some of us in the world, we normally tend to recycle our traumas and our experiences to our family, children, and friends. And we basically take our issues and we circle it among friends in our communities. And when we practice this Sakya-ras, then what we're doing is we are changing that narrative. And what we are moving, the energy of love and compassion, is being cycled in every community. Wherever we go, we learn to share our authentic selves with others and our guidance and wisdom, and always eager to learn from others. So this is why this island of Sakya-ras is emphasized for us to explore. So I will end my discussion here. Oh, I'll just mention on the Madhyamadhikari friendships, the middle stage friendships, is very, very important because that is where deep emotional connections happen. It's very beautiful because we need that emotional connection. Of course, it also happens with the teachers, but it's a spiritual emotional connection. Okay, if anybody has any questions or comments or any objections or any clarifications needed, then this is the time. We have 15 minutes.
There are some questions in the chat.
Yes, please, can you read us the questions?
Ina says, is an essential friend somebody for the rest of your life, or can they come and go, just cross your path?
It could be both. I have had essential friends who I consider my gurus and teachers, who have come into my life and have made huge impact in my life, and they have gone off back to the mountains. And I have friends, those essential friends, who are still in my life. That when I have some questions, because when you practice spiritual life, you'll have so many questions. Who do I go to? Who do I ask? Who do I ask? When I do my shoulder stand, should my shoulder be, at this angle or at that angle? Should my toes be pointing north or south or northeast or southeast? When we do all this practices, we need to have someone that can be available to us. And so therefore, those friends can also be present with you in your life. It could be once a week, once a month, once a year, but there is a connection. And it is a connection The essential friends are a connection of the heart because they help you to navigate the journey of your heart, because they understand the heart, because they operate from the heart. So it's a very beautiful question because, we'll get into it a little bit more next week. We'll break it down even more. But essentially, a short answer to your beautiful question is yes, that could be a one-time thing, but there could be someone who is still around, or it could be few such friends, essential friends. In one of the great writings of this great saint, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he writes very beautiful poetically. He explains, he says, Ami bina bandhu ara ke ache tomar. Very nicely he says, who else can be your friend other than me? He's speaking to the deity of his heart, to the love of his heart. Love of his heart is revealing this to him in his heart, and he's writing it down on his journal. The love of his heart is speaking, divine is speaking in his heart and telling him, my dear Bhakti Vinod, let me just express to you, who else is your friend in this world if I'm not your friend? I have never, ever, ever deserted you. I'm always situated in your heart with you. I have never left you. I was there when you were happy. I was there when you were sad. I was there in your good times and bad times and all times. And this is what he's revealing. He's feeling in his heart and he's journaling. So you'll be surprised that your friendships, that connection of the heart, it can become so deep that you'll be able to experience all this deep spiritual relationships with other spiritual beings. I know one person from Guyana. She's a student of mine. She writes me these letters and she tells me, even though I don't see you, I don't always attend the calls, but I feel inspired just by knowing that I feel connected to you. And I was thinking, how is that even possible? But again, a teacher and a student, the spiritual connection is always possible. So short answer, long answer to your question, Ina. Very beautiful question, though. Thank you for asking. What other questions do we have, Keshavi?
Ina, did we fully answer your questions, or did he answer your question?
Okay, if Ina is happy, then I'm happy. And I'm hoping I get to see Ina with me in India, but I don't think she can make it because she's got too much work responsibilities.
Oh.
What's the next question?
There's always a choice, Veda.
Yes, there's always a choice. Yes. Keshavi, what's the next question?
Narayani asked, what is a hooking friend?
Oh, I was just jokingly saying a friend of mine, I didn't know what it was. They're saying that the friendships have become so shallow nowadays. And I was thinking, wow, I didn't even know such things exist. So anyway, yeah, there's friendships that are not very deep. Those shallow friendships.
And then Ina had another question. How do you know if your essential friend is an essential friend?
That's a
So
very,
sometimes maybe you want somebody to be your essential friend, but you don't know whether he wants to be your essential friend. Or you
yes.
even don't have a clue whether he is or not.
But the beautiful part of that is that all you have to do is you have to just ask them. Like if I say, Ina, I can text Ina, could you please be my essential friend? That's all you have to do. Because I feel connected to you. Would you please be my essential friend? And if that person says yes, and the likelihood of people that you consider essential friends, if they know what that really means, they may humbly agree with you because they know that their responsibility in this world is to serve others, is to be there to support others in their spiritual growth, in their spiritual journeys. And they're also accessible. Many times we consider someone our essential friend, but they have 50 million Instagram followers and they have a zillion, and we don't have access to them. But we consider them our essential friends, but they may not consider that. So your question is very valid. We have to ask. In the yoga text, it is explained, Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. And this is just me translating the Sanskrits, where it says, we should humbly approach such a friend and say, humbly approach and submissively inquire and render some service. What is that service? And that service is to, is to open your heart and let them see you for who you are. And let them guide you and let them navigate your spiritual journey. So there's 3 principles is explained how to approach. If you want to have, a serious essential friend, then to approach with humbly approach, submissively inquire, and render service. Pranipat, pariprashna, and seva. These are the 3 words in Sanskrit that explains this principle of developing essential friendships in life. And if there is all these deep layers of bureaucracy and monetary deals, then generally what happens, it's a different kind of a friendship. I know one person, a friend of mine, he was in our community. He said, I would give everything I have just to talk to my guru once. And he goes to these retreats in different places, spend thousands of dollars with thousands of people. And he's just one of those people. And he never feels that connection, but he's ready to spend all his money to just have one-to-one meeting with him, just so that he could ask if that person could be an essential friend. And I was thinking to myself, and I was like, wow.
But do you think that somebody can be an essential friend? I don't believe that one person can be an essential friend for hundreds of other people.
It's possible. It's possible. But here we're talking about millions, not hundreds.
Well, even that.
Yeah, hundreds is more doable.
100 is already really hard, it seems to me.
Yes.
To be really essential for somebody.
Yes, but it's a connection of the heart. Many times, like one of my teachers, whenever I had any issues as a student, all I had to do is go and sit next to him and just do meditation with him. And my questions were answered. No words were needed to be transacted. It's the beautiful connection of the heart.
So where fits somebody who is always there for you? In which category?
That can be any category you want. You can put them in Madhyama Adhikari, you can put them in and Uttama Adhikari. So, but the point is to understand the principles that we can try and apply it, you know. Thank you for this beautiful question. Ina, always intelligent questions. She never spares me with her beautiful, deep, thought-provoking questions.
Well, I've typed them down now.
Good. When I was in Netherlands in Eindhoven, I met Ina there, and I said, if you have any questions, please ask. And she kept asking question after question after question. And I was having a lot of fun with her because I like curious people, you know, always asking questions. And some people said, doesn't she ask too many questions in the class? And I said, no, I love it. She said, she doesn't bother you? And I said, no, I think it's so kind of her to, you know, put herself out there and ask all these questions. So that's enough for you, always asking deep spiritual questions.
Normally people get bored.
Okay, anyone else have anything they would like to share?
Brenda had another question in the chat. Please briefly explain Sakya Rasa again.
Sakya means Sakhi or friendship. And this is the island of the heart that we're covering. We're covering the 9 islands of the heart. And this island that we're covering is the island of friendship. And how, through friendship, we can reach the highest level of spiritual realization. I won't even get into the details, but there is so many details and nuances to spiritual friendships. I mean, there's so many. But I'll spare you that today. And maybe we'll unfold some more next week. But the whole principle is to understand how important and valuable friends are, and how we should all develop deep friendships with one another. Because that is the essence of life. Because we are born to have relationships. You cannot not have relationships. We are meant to have relationships. And these friendly relationships, these friendships are a big part of that spiritual growth. A big platform, big avenue for spiritual growth. So Brenda, I don't know if I answered you.
Yes, thank you so much, Prabhu.
Thank you so much. Any other questions or comments? Or any objection? Yes, Narayani Devi.
So how do you cure yourself if your heart's been broken and stepped on by so many different people at different times, and you're scared to have friendships because you're scared to have your heart broken and stepped on again? So like, how can you get past that stuckness of every time I let someone in, they hurt me?
Beautiful question. Beautiful question. You know, we always discuss this point, the importance of self-preservation, self-protection, and self-care. And so therefore, whenever our heart is broken, is normally because we go in with our mind and our senses. And we let our heart just be put on the table without asking that other person, hey, what does your heart look like? Can I get a little peek at that? Is there any light in there, or is it dark? You know, so therefore it's very important to use our intelligence. Intelligence is the most powerful tool that enables us to safeguard the beautiful, kind, compassionate heart. And the intelligence, what does it do? it always asks rational questions. The first question that the intelligence will ask is why? Why does this person want to be my friend? And what is the quality of this friendship? And how is this friendship going to nurture the very person that I am? So when we ask this question, why, how, and what, these are questions that the intelligent asks. And therefore, we get a chance to breathe, pause, and breathe, and be in that rational space. If we go in with our senses because someone looks really nice, and we go with just one sense, could be some trouble. Or we just go in with the senses because they promise you the world, because they said something really nice to you, and you go with just that one sense, could be some more trouble. So every time we rely our decisions on our senses, then we could get deceived. We could be deceived because the packaging is always so beautiful. Everything in this world, they spend more money on packaging than the actual content inside. Because we are very quick to make decisions based on what we see and what we hear, and not go through the process of generally asking these deep questions. And so therefore, using the intelligence to safeguard our heart from being broken again. And heartbreak is the most beautiful thing in life. There's nothing greater for our life than a heartbreak. Because that heartbreak is the beginning of spiritual awakening. There will be no spiritual awakening unless there's a heartbreak. So I know that our time is up and we have another call coming up, which is called The Seeker's Quest. And I request you to join me because I have two other friends who is a scientist, material spiritual scientist, and he's a monk, and then another nuclear submarine engineer also on the call. And three of us, we dive deep into the topics of different aspects of the Gita. And today's lesson is from the 3rd chapter of the Gita. And it's a very fun one. So I request you to please join me, and please excuse me because I think they're already waiting for me because I'm getting text messages. Namaste, everyone.
Namaste. Does anybody need the call information for the next call? I can stay on and give it to you. So, or does everybody have it?